Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another review. This time we have the Goldplanarr GL2000 headphones. These are a planar magnetic driver headphone. They have a driver that is, I believe, 100mm tall by 36mm wide, planar magnetic driven, open back design, adjustable headset, detachable pads, removable pads. They come with two sets of pads. These I've seen are priced at about $599, so they're going to be competing with something like the Grado RS1E, Fostex TH610, Sennheiser HD660, that sort of market. I think they're all dynamic driver headphones, so this is sort of straddling the line between the sort of £1,000 ODs and hi-fi man stuff and that sort of budget stuff that you find around about $300. Goldplanarr seem to be a company that they're taking advantage of components, let's say components, rather than, I don't want to say full headphones, because as I'm aware right now this is more inspired of design as opposed to something like Sendy did and Blonde did, where they took a pre-existing headphone and rebadged it and made very minor alterations. This seems a little bit more thought out. I've been really impressed. I've been using these for the past 2 weeks, and to be honest, I'm absolutely loving them. I have the Fostex 610s here, which I really like. But these have been getting more head time. They sound engaging, warm, super detailed. They're not the widest sound stage, but there's definitely like a lot of air there. When I say that, I'm saying in comparison with other open back headphones, which can sound really big, like some of my Final Audio Sonorous headphones and stuff like that. So before I get fully into the review, I'm going to put that down and I'm going to show you this ridiculous case that comes with this headphone. So this arrived at my door. I'm going to move the camera. This is a full-blown, I don't think it's a full Pelican case, but I own a bunch of Pelican cases, and it is, I would say it's just as well built. It's a ROHS case, Rose case. Rock solid, it's absolutely huge. It's hinged on the back. It is fully sealed, waterproof. It's got the gas escape gasket in the front, double clip on the front, and it opens up with the headphones sitting in here and these spare pads. So the thing with a case like this is, I'll get it out of the way because it is huge. It's going to do a few things. Like if you're buying that, never buy a headphone for the case. How often are you going to use the case? Are you going to take a set of planar magnetic headphones somewhere where you need to have a waterproof case? The chances are no. It's gimmicky, but it's kind of cool as well, so long as it doesn't add too much to the price. I would rather have no case, have these delivered in a plastic bag and pay less money for the headphones. It's nice as a gimmick, definitely worth overlooking if you're serious. Like, I mean, it's nice to have it if you have like some sort of use for it. I can't really think what I'm going to do with it, but there you go. The headphones themselves, again, I'm going to get to in a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. So in the box you get the instruction manual, which you'll never read because everybody knows how to use a set of headphones. You have the spare pads. I think these actually came installed on it. I can't fully remember. I think they came installed. But they have this perforated PU leather with this soft touch sort of lycra fabric on the inside touching your head. I found this to be really breathable, but I found the sound was better using the all leather ones, just because I think it provides a little more depth at the back. You can see that it's a little bit more depth, and it keeps the drivers a little bit further away from the ears, but at the same time it creates a tighter seal to your head, so there's less leakage of the sound coming out from the side. These are very comfortable though. If these can sort of cause sweaty ears if you're in a hot environment, unair conditioned office or something like that. You know, these are going to breathe a lot better. They're nice, but personal preference. I prefer the all leather or all PU leather ones. It is nice that they give you 2 sets in the case. This is the little bag that the cable comes in, and we'll pull the cable out. The cable, those of you who watch the reviews on this channel a lot, you're going to know that I make a big deal about cables. I don't make a big deal about cables because I think that they change the sound in any way. I think that's a surefire way to see when somebody's talking a lot of nonsense. When I talk about using a good cable versus a bad cable, it's more about how it performs in terms of movement, being tangle free, good build quality, good hardware points and stuff like that. I'm less caring about super fancy cables having certain features and materials that they tout, and then you put it down and it just becomes a bird's nest, or when I move about it catches, you know, it retains in some shape like this, and just gets in the way. When I want a good cable, or I'm talking about a good cable, it's something that just hangs there, stays out my way, I don't need to constantly adjust it. This is an okay cable, and I'm going to tell you why. This is essentially what I would call an IEM cable. This is what I would expect to see in an IEM cable, and something like this I would expect to see a corded or a sheathed cable. This is a octo braid, so there's 8 individual strands there, and after the splitting point it splits into a quad braid, so there's 4 strands, still 8 strands coming out, but 4 on each channel. The braid design is something that works well on an IEM, and I don't think it works as well on a home hi-fi unit. I think it retains a little bit too much of that memory, it doesn't hang as properly. They've gone thicker with the gauging to compensate somewhat, but I just think if you just cord sheathed that, you would fix a lot of the problems there. Hardware wise, it's really good. It comes with a balanced 4.4, metal with knurling, strain relief on it, gold plating, nothing to complain about there. So we come up to the splitter point. The splitter, again metal, little Goldplanarr logo on it, very good. And there's no slider on it, which I don't think is that important when you're using a headphone at home. And then you have a very similar set of hardware on the top end with the metal connectors and right and left channels, red and black, and a little bit of knurling on it. So I don't think it's going to fail. I don't see anything wrong with it. I would just think it would have been better if it was a covered, you know, like a cord sheathing on it or something like that. Would have been a little bit nicer. Now, to get into the headphones, I guess I should try and take this off so we can get a slightly better look at the driver when I get to it. Now, a little bit about the build quality. It's all metal and it feels really well made. It's solid, it's well put together. You can see this swivels the full 360 degrees this way. It doesn't have as much rotation, so it only rotates to fit the shape of your head, as opposed to rotating enough so that you could lay these flat on a table. It's got these sort of locking points here. It has metal sliders with very firm clicks. This is good. It actually takes quite a bit of force to get this moving and getting it into place. I like that because it means it's never going to come out when I'm using it, or if I just pick it up too fast. think that's well made. It feels solid. You can really stretch these out and they come back. It's super well padded on the top with this PU padded top. It's quite a heavy headphone, there's no denying that, but yeah, construction wise, the only real plastic is on the inside here. And if we have a look, you can see that really large planar driver there, and there's just a little bit of mesh to protect it. On the outside, you have the grille, which is very nicely done, adds a nice little touch, and down the bottom you get the Goldplanarr logo again. These pads, they're the sort of angled ones so that it fits the shape of how you wear it on the head back to front, so it's slightly less of a rise here than it is round the back. That just allows it to sit flush to your head, and I found them perfectly comfortable, and they did sound significantly better with these pads on. Okay, so when we talk about the sound is just that typical sort of planar magnetic thing. I've got a number of D's in Hi-Fi Man and a couple of other ones as well, sort of round about the $1,000 mark, and I would say these aren't far off it. I would say that they're relatively good value for money. Price point wise, you're comparing this to something like the Sennheiser HD660, which is very well regarded as one of these headphones that punches well above its weight. It's a sound performer. That isn't this. This is more musical, more lay back, listen, enjoy your music, chill out, relax. This isn't a studio style headphone or studio style tuning. This is more for somebody who's, you know, gonna throw in an old Beatles record, original Genesis or something like that. You're gonna throw this on and you're gonna sit back and you're gonna enjoy the music just like you used to do as you were a kid. What you're gonna notice is there's lots of detail. They have excellent detail retrieval from highs to lows. The textures on the lows are beautifully done. It has a lot of impact in the low end. Really good mid-bass response. No bleed into the mids, and the sub-bass is surprisingly good. Sub-bass is something that even Planarrs, like, they struggle to replicate the real shaky rumble. This does a good job of that, but the textures in the mid-bass are lovely. Going into the mids sit slightly back from that, but they're beautifully smooth. They're super clear, and that detail is going to stand out in the mids, especially on vocal tracks, male and female vocals alike, which is something usually I would say that, you know, this headphone's good for male vocals, whereas the female vocals get a little bit peaky. This one handles all of this. It sounds super smooth, it sounds super intimate. You get a lot of the rich weight from the male vocals, and then when you get a female singer like Diana Krall or something like that, is it Midnight in New York again? I keep referring to that song because I'm listening to it a lot just now. Her vocals just sound absolutely fantastic on that, and that's something in the more higher octaves. The treble, crisp, clear, creates a good sense of space and clarity. That sort of airiness that brings the treble. Treble is where you get your sense of soundstage. A lot of people mistake bass for soundstage, but the treble is essentially what creates that sense of airy openness where notes sort of float away. That brings that. But going into the soundstage, this isn't a massively expansive sounding headphone, something like my Sonorous X or something like that. This sounds open, it sounds airy. It has good soundstage, especially in instrumentation. It's very open where you can hear, like, this is coming from here, this is coming from here, this is distinctly separate from each other. But the vocals, which I talked about, were excellent. They have a more intimate, in your head presentation. They're right up on top of you. Some people really like that because it gives the intimacy of the singer, so it's fantastic if you listen to a lot of vocal music. Other people would prefer, like, you know, if you're listening to, say, Rolling Stones live or something like that, and you've got Jagger, he's walking about the stage, you want to have that sense that he's back from you, and you know, you can hear the guitar coming off from this side, but then you can hear Jagger sort of walking from one side to the other. That's going to be presented a little bit more closer to you on these headphones. But if you're, say, conversely, you're listening to something, let's say Gregory Porter, Concord, or something like a live recording of that, a club, like a jazz club performance or something, you're going to feel like you're right there with them. So it's not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just a personal preference choice of it. So yeah, I really enjoyed these. I think they offer something different from the, you know, the RS1E and the HD660. You're getting really good planar. They don't feel like a massively premium thing. They feel really well made. But then you're looking at something again like the HD660, that's not a premium headphone, that's just a good studio workhorse headphone, like a premium studio headphone when it comes to build quality. This is really nice build quality, it's going to last. It comes with the ridiculous case. Whether or not that you're going to put value on that, I wouldn't. I would base it completely off the headphones. I think they're a good buy at $5.99. I think they were on drop for $4.99. I would say that's a really good deal. Just if you want to get into planars and you want to see what they're all about before going up to, you know, the plus 1000s for it, I think these are an excellent option. And yeah, I've been solidly impressed. And I'm curious to hear if they've produced something like this at this price point. They've got a model that seems to be 1,500. And I would be really interested in hearing that and comparing it against some of my other stuff, because as it stands, this seems like good value when it comes to sound. So it would be interesting to see what they're doing at that 1,500. Is that just something they've thrown out there to... A lot of companies throw out crazy price points to indicate legitimacy, and in that sense I'm specifically talking about Hi-Fi Man, who have the Shangri-La system or something, which is $50,000, which I think they just wanted to do that to take the title from Sennheiser and the Orpheus, because basically you're buying legitimacy by having the most expensive headphones in the world. So the model above, will that offer the same sort of price performance that this is doing? I'm digressing from the point. These are an excellent set of headphones. I would recommend them. I would also recommend changing the cable. But yeah, if you can pick these up for about $500, I would say grab them and grab a new cable with the extra $100. So yeah, that's another review. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good night.